Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here at Altnabreac Cover Up channel. I'd like to thank everybody who is supporting us and following us and commenting in our videos and liking our videos and sharing our videos. We'd like to both thank you. Me and Ian want to thank you all for those of you who are supporting us in our cause against Network Rail and what is happening to us here at Altnabreac. So thank you everyone. Okay, this video that we've uploaded is of a conversation that me and Ian had with the level crossing manager for Network Rail and his brother in February this year, 2024. In this conversation, you will hear the workers for Network Rail, the level crossing manager and his brother, they confirm that there was an illegal unlicensed scrapyard being run here at Altnabreac when the previous occupants lived here, where a man died. They also confirm that Network Rail gave the previous occupants hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of scrap metal. Okay, we are going to put in the description box a link to the regulations that govern Network Rail selling scrap metal to individuals and companies, and you will see in those regulations that this area is very, very highly regulated for obvious reasons. So we'll pop that in the description box. This video also covers the access agreement or the legal agreement that was in place between Network Rail and the previous occupants of Station House, because Network Rail, as we have said, need the permission of the occupant of Station House to be able to access and use the land to operate. And there was an access agreement or legal agreement in place between them, and you'll hear in this video, in these conversations, that these workers, the level crossing manager and his brother, confirm that they were aware of this agreement and that the previous occupants were being paid by Network Rail to access the land to be able to use it. Also, concerning the scrap metal that was gifted, is the word that's been used to the previous occupants who were running an unlicensed scrapyard. We spoke to a local licensed scrap dealer who put a bid in for that scrap metal at the time, and he was really dismayed to find that his bid had been rejected, and instead the previous occupants got the scrap metal. And this local dealer, whose license, was really annoyed because he knew that the previous occupants were unlicensed in scrap dealing. So this is what the conversations cover. This is what the video's about. We really hope that you continue following our journey, and we thank you again for watching our videos. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, I used to speak to Darren Bruce. Right. Who was in the house before you. I don't know, did you buy the house off him or how, whatever? That's,
yeah, the previous occupants.
Yeah. I used to see him on a Sunday morning. I don't think he'd been to bed since the Thursday, to be honest. But he always maintained that he owned this as well. That all went with the house.
He would have. That's so. So like you said then, did he point out to you what area of land he claimed to own? Was it the same part?
It was the same part.
Yeah.
Like he ended up getting all the scrap and stuff.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Like so everyone's quite
thousands of tons.
So the thing with the scrap is quite well known, and obviously there's a lot of photos. And I mean, we were told by and John and Hamish told us actually that
John McDonald.
John and Hamish, they're the first ones we met here, and they were tidy with us, and they told us that it was like hundreds of thousands worth of pounds of scrap that was ended up being this scrapyard here, didn't it? Danbury's scrapyard,
Network Rail just give that away? How did
we honestly don't know.
Grey area.
It's a very grey area.
It's a grey area.
Like say we were taking sleepers out here, working on the track, and you said, "Oh, can I get a few sleepers?" by rights we can't just give them, you know, because then the Network Rail will be like, oh, you must have got a backhanded or something, you know.
So I'll tell you what else. You see, so this is how we found out where the things were going wrong, right? There was a bit of a fallout. Now John and Hamish told me, and they told me all the story. They showed me all the photos and stuff they had on the phone of stuff that had been going on with Darren Bruce when he was here, and they told us. So did you hear about the wire that he broke? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So tell me.
Yeah.
I was on site when it happened.
Right.
Because I checked the phones, and then they stopped working.
Yeah. So
Shortly after it, he put the digger bucket through it.
he put the digger bucket through it. Where did he? Because we seen the break. Was it down here up here, didn't it?
It was further up. It was kind of like at the end of the side ends. You know,
Right.
It would have been the old side ends.
Yeah.
So that's what John and Hamish told us. So he did that, and then he charged them.
Yeah.
How many thousand did he charge them for that? Because I was it?
Was it 500 quid? I think it was.
It's £500 a day he was
A
charging
day.
them.
for access rights.
Yeah.
That,
So-
we heard that, but I never ever got any real confirmation.
Well, that's what John and Hamish told us as well.
They told
Yeah,
us.
and that, we've heard that
He
as
even
well.
put
Yeah.
a skip.
Yeah.
He put a skip on the, you know where the cattle the gate is.
Yeah.
He lifted a skip. He put a skip there so no one could
To
drive
block
down.
it.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Until he got paid.
Until he got paid,
we're
aye.
led to believe.
So John and Hamish told us, right, that he was so. Our conversation with Lorna Brown, right? She we with our meeting, okay. She told us, okay, that yes, indeed, there was a access agreement in place, okay, with ScotRail, Network Rail, with Darren Bruce, okay. So that's what.
So why can't you have the same thing?
So that John and Hamish told us every time they're coming, it was. I think they said to us it's £500 a day. Is that what you heard
That's
as well?
what I heard as well,
It was
yeah.
500. So it must have been that then.
Yeah.
And they said to me that when the thing happened with the wire, and they knew he did it on purpose, I'm sure they said that he charged them £3,000 for that or something.
To come in and repair it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the story then.
Right.
I heard that, but it was just hearsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and I heard the story about the skip as well.
Aye.
Yeah.
I seen the skip.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
That's good.
He'd shifted
Yeah.
the skip
Because
there.
he said to us that the last year he was here, he had got £18,000 from. Was it Network Rail or ScotRail was paying them?
16,000.
16,000.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Who would pay them? Would it be Network Rail or ScotRail?
Depends.
Depending
Depends
if
what
it's
work
trains.
needed done.
If it's a trains in the station, it's ScotRail.
Who would have
If
paid him
it's-
for the wire then?
If it's
It
phones,
would have been
it's
phones. It would have been
would have been-
Network
'cause
Rail.
they're
Network
it
Rail.
would have been
that's
telecoms.
Network Rail's asset. So you know
Right.
it's there.
So-
So, I mean, you don't have to answer anything that
Yeah.
I'm asking. But what would you like? Like, what off the record? Kind of what do you want done with the crossings? What would you?